Straight ahead on this week's Falcon Fever, the season's over for the men's basketball team. Find out how it ended for the Falcons.
And the baseball team was in action over spring break. We tracked their progress as they passed the halfway point of the season. Falcon Fever starts now.
Welcome everyone, your source for Montevallo sports right here. This is Falcon Fever. I'm Daniel Vest.
And I'm Coleman Sears. The men's basketball team season is over. The guys bowed out in the second round of the NCAA Division II National Championship Tournament. The Falcons defeated Georgia Southwestern 62-59 in round one in Aiken, South Carolina, but fell by 6 to Anderson of South Carolina 82-76. On the year, UM's record was 19-11 overall with a 10-7 conference record. Antoine Davis led the Falcons in scoring on the year, averaging just over 12 points a game, and led the team in free throws made and attempted, making 60% of those. Davis also led the team in steals with 55. DeMarcus Catchings led the team in rebounding, averaging just over 6 a contest. Well, Dan, it's a shame that the men couldn't make any further in the NCAA tournament this year.
Yeah, it really is, but you know, the young team only had 2 seniors. Danny Young's proven he can win, so there's no reason really to think that they won't be there next year.
Well, let's hope to see them there next year. The baseball team is trying to take care of business on the diamond. We've got a lot to get to as the guys played 8 games over the break. In that stretch, the Falcons went 5-3 and have won 3 of their last 3.
We'll start it off with UM hosting Cross-State and Division II rival Alabama Huntsville on March 10th. Heath Peterson jacked a home run and drove in 4 RBIs, while Alex Stiver's 3 RBIs helped propel the Falcons over UAH in the 9-5 victory. Wes Rich picked up the win in relief, his very first of the season. Well, let's see how the guys did in their 3-game series with Columbus State.
Yeah, they were looking to build off their win against UAH and take it to the Cougars. So we head to Columbus, Georgia. In Game 1 of the doubleheader, the Falcons would start the game off deadlocked with the Cougars at 2 after the first and would remain tied until Columbus State put a man across in the 4th to take the lead to 3-2. The matchup would come down to the wire as the guys came into the 9th trailing 6-4. After a first at bat out, the Falcons would knock 3 straight singles to load the bases. With a chance to grab the lead, the runner at first would be picked off, giving them 2 outs with men at second and third, and their chances for a win still within reach. Austin Doubly would wear one from the opposing pitcher to put another run across and tie things up. But in the end, the Cougars would get a 2-out single that would score the final run of the game. Blaine Rosenberg would go 3 for 4 with 1 run scored, and Heath Peterson would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored.
In Game 2, the Falcons came out hot, scoring 4 runs in the 2nd inning. The hot streak wouldn't last long, though, as the men could only get 4 more runs across the plate, 1 coming in the 4th and 3 in the 9th. The Cougars would take advantage of the Falcons' slump and catch fire at the plate, scoring 12 runs between the 3rd and 6th innings. Although the Cougars would win the first match 12-8, the game was closer than the scoreboard would show. Austin Doubly went 4 for 5 with 1 RBI, and left fielder Chris Ross would go 2 for 4 at the plate with 3 runs and an RBI.
After 2 losses at the hands of the Cougars, the Falcons were looking for some redemption in Game 3 of the series, and they wasted no time coming out and scoring 5 runs in the first 3 innings while holding Columbus State at bay until the 4th, when they would finally get on the board. The run wasn't enough for the Cougars as the Falcons just wouldn't stop scoring. They put up 6 runs in the final 6 innings of the match, getting their redemption with a complete blowout of the Cougars. The final would be Montevallo 11, Columbus State 2. Blaine Rosenberg would lead the charge, going 4 for 5 at the plate, knocking in 2 runs and crossing the plate once himself, while Fulmer would follow, going 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored. Alex Guilford would get the win for the Falcons, facing 25 batters. He would only allow 4 hits, 1 run, and would walk 1 batter.
After the series with Columbus State, the Falcons fell in a heartbreaker on the road at West Alabama on March 16th. The guys scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th, but couldn't push across the tying run and fell 7-6. Josh Dabbs led all Falcon batters, going 2 for 4. He launched a homer, drove in 3, scored twice. Well, Coleman, at this point in the recap, the Falcons have lost 3 of their last 4, but their luck was about to change, right?
Yeah, Dan, they turned their things around and looking to bring North Georgia here at home. sent Will Dismukes to the mound in Game 1. Will lasted 5 1/3 in the match, striking out 6 and allowing just 1 earned run over 7 hits as he picked up his 3rd victory of the season. Austin Dubberly drove in 3 runs while going 1 for 4, and Heath Peterson went 1 for 3, driving in 2. The Falcons won 6-5, bringing their record to 500 at 12-12.
Montevallo rocked North Georgia pitching in Game 2, scoring 10 runs, and then the guys shut out the Saints in Game 3. In the second game of the series, the Falcons got the 10-1 win. Kyle Butler went 6 strong innings to pick up his 3rd victory of the season. He gave up 1 earned run across 6 hits. He also had 3 strikeouts. Heath Peterson and Josh Dabbs did the most damage. Peterson went 3 for 4 with a double, 2 runs scored, and 3 RBIs, while Dabbs went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a run scored, and 4 RBIs. Claimed the series sweep in the 3rd and final game and improved their record to 14-12 overall. Austin Dubberly slugged out a near-perfect day, going 4 for 5 from the dish with an RBI and a run scored. He also had a stolen base in the game. Josh Dabbs batted in the other runner while going 1 for 3. Alex Guilford went 6 1/3 to pick up the victory, his 4th of the season. He surrendered just 7 hits, striking out 3.
The Falcons bring Armstrong Atlantic to Kermit A. Johnson Field for a 3-game series. They have 1 match on the 25th and a doubleheader on the 26th. Be sure to head out to the field and support your Falcons. All right, Dan, I heard the men's golf team had to travel this spring break.
Yeah, no break for those guys. You know, they were in the Tusculum Invitational. Let's see how they did.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, the Falcons finished 11th out of 20 at the Tusculum Invitational. was the only PBC team at the event and competed with only 4 golfers. Junior Aaron Ebert led with a 2-round score of 5 over 147 and finished tied for 19th overall. Junior Gonzalo Gambertoglio followed up with a 6 over 148 and finished tied for 24th overall.
The golf team heads back to the course to tee off at the Bearcat Invitational in Greenwood, South Carolina on March 29th. So the men had to work, but the women got a break over spring break.
Yeah, they returned to action Tuesday the 22nd at the West Georgia Invitational in Georgia over there. Came in 2nd place with an overall score of 678. Emily Gibson led for the team with a total score of 162, while Tracy Marshall followed her up with a 166. The Falcons get a little rest before their next big tournament. That tournament is the PBC Championship in Georgia on April 12th.
All right, Dan, you caught any of the tennis matches here lately?
Not as much as I'd like to. They just tough luck for them so far, though. Things haven't really fallen their way.
Well, let's hope they get better the rest of the season.
Well, the Falcons traveled to Flagler College on Saturday, March 12th. The ladies played some tough matches but lost the match to the Saints. Helena Nordgreen had been playing really hard matches this year. This week followed the same trend when the Falcons played Flagler, with Nordgreen being the only player to win sets against the Saints. In the end, Montevallo fell 9 matches to 0.
The women's tennis team then fought UNC Pembroke on the 16th and fell 9-0. Ladies fought hard, and every Falcon won at least 1 set in either singles or doubles matches. Junior Helena Nordgreen tied for the Falcon lead with 5-set wins, falling 6-2, 6-3. Sophomore Amy McGuckin won 5 sets as well, but fell 6-4, 6-1.
On March 17th, the Falcons traveled to play PBC opponent Francis Marion. The Falcons were dropped by the Patriots, though. Didn't start out their 4-game spring break trip very well with Francis Marion, and they didn't start out on their best foot as they fought to get a win, but couldn't bring one out. There's not much to it. The Falcons couldn't get a match win, and Francis Marion would win 9 matches to 0.
The Falcons traveled to take on Converse College on March 18th. The Falcons took down the Valkyries 5 matches to 4. In the singles competition, Helena Nordgreen, Callie Robinson, and Amy McGuckin all won. tandems Kaylee Hackett and Cody Bobo and Amy McGuckin, Yulia Sefatsova also won in the doubles matches.
On the 20th, the women's tennis team moved on to battle Georgia College. This was the Falcons' fourth road trip during the break. They kept up the heat but fell in the end, 9-0. Senior Cody Bobo came within 2 sets of winning a match but fell 6-4, 2-6, 10-6. Sophomore Amy McGuckin was the only other Falcon to win a set, falling 6-1 and 6-0 in the fifth singles match.
In women's tennis, upcoming games are March 23rd for a home game versus West Alabama at 2 p.m., then March 26th at Tuskegee, and the 30th at Armstrong Atlantic. This week's Falcon Fever Player of the Week is Heath Peterson. Along with being named Falcon Fever Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, Peterson was also named PBC Player of the Week over spring break. He had a batting average of .444 with 4 long balls and 9 runs batted in. Peterson had multiple hits in all 4 matchups and averaged at least 1 RBI per contest. In the Falcons' 3-game series in Columbus, he had a batting average of .461 with 3 home runs and 5 runs batted in. Peterson was 3 for 3 in stolen bases and didn't commit any errors. He is currently tied for second in the league for most home runs and is 4th in slugging percentage. Well, looks like that's all the sports we've got for you this week. But remember, if you've got any pictures or any video of Montevallo sports on the road, please send them to us at umfalconfever@gmail.com. You just might see them during our next show. And if you'd like to watch more Falcon Fever episodes, visit our page on YouTube at Montevallo4U. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to catch the fever.